Hi everyone, it's Dr. Seymour. I'm recording this short video to share some observations about our short plays for Thursday and some possible suggestions for what groups might want to follow up on for their group presentations or performances. So just to recap real quick, yesterday in class we discussed Bryony Lavery's The Rules Agreed On, and she's a playwright from the United Kingdom. And then we looked at Elaine Kwan's Cuisine, and she's a playwright from Canada. And today we have Moo, that's the short version of the title, by Alistair Emerson from New Zealand, and The Eternity of Diapers by Carla Zuniga from Chile. So let's jump into Moo. One thing to mention is at the very beginning, it alludes to the Green New Deal. And if that's not something you're familiar with, I'll just explain very quickly. It was a proposal introduced by AOC, the politician you may have heard of. Her full name is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. So she and some other colleagues introduced this plan to address climate change by way of job creation. So the idea is to create new jobs in sectors like renewable energy, such as solar energy, and so forth. So that's that allusion there. There's also an allusion to cow farts, just in case you're not up on your research on cow farts. The issue here is that animal agriculture involves a lot of methane emissions from animals, so cow farts, which contributes to climate change. So it sounds pretty silly, but it is a serious problem. Okay, thinking about our dramatic terms, I think it's worth mentioning that the exposition in this play is pretty unusual. So it happens belatedly and very self-consciously. So you have the character Celine say, well, this is only a 5-minute play, and they weren't here, they meaning the audience, when we started stealing the cows. So they don't understand that you are planning to steal all the cows in the world because you are convinced that the Green New Deal means no more cows for anyone and no more ice cream or hamburgers. I thought I would give you a chance to tell them some important exposition. End quote. So in this way, and in a couple other ways, we could say that the play breaks the fourth wall. It's sort of aware of itself as a play, and it's kind of meta or postmodern in that sense. And this could be something for you to analyze in your groups. What effect does it have to break the fourth wall? Is that useful? Are the other plays sort of missing out on this technique by not breaking the fourth wall? A final observation on Moo is that there's no real discussion of the set or what it might look like. And so that's something that your group might want to talk about or even try to stage it. Okay, moving on to Zuniga's The Eternity of Diapers. Speaking of exposition, there's very little exposition in this play. It's more of like a mini manifesto at the very top. And so this could be an interesting option for groups. You could do something like compare one of these short plays to Seascape in terms of exposition, or just even in a broader sense. So thinking about, we could think all the way back to, or you could think all the way back to our discussion of short stories versus novels, and maybe present something on the short play versus the full-length play. So what gets skipped or truncated in the short play, what is kind of thrown out the window or seen as unnecessary to deal with in the short play versus in the longer play. How do short plays work differently than full-length plays? So again, you could compare something like The Eternity of Diapers to Seascape and talk about some differences there. You probably noticed that we have no character names, much like, I won't even tell you, you should know. So this play, The Eternity of Diapers, should remind you of another play that is lacking character names. So again, that's something you could think about, right? How are these plays lacking in characterization? And obviously lacking sounds like a negative term, but maybe they're kind of getting away with lacking in characterization because they're focusing on the action more. So again, something to think about. What makes a short play different than a full-length play. There's some funny stuff here, in my opinion, about how the young woman character doesn't care or know what gender her boyfriend or her girlfriend or her person friend is, meaning the diaper. I think you could definitely do a queer reading of this play and think about, why does she throw in that gender stuff? Why is that important? What is that adding here? And then just going back to our dramatic terms again, thinking about the term monologue, the diaper gets a monologue here, and the diaper actually does more talking than any other characters. So again, that's something that you could think about with your groups and maybe, analyze a little further what the effects of that are. Two more things to say. The Eternity of Diapers is based on or alludes to a real river in Chile, where the playwright is from, and the river is called the Mapocho. It's highly contaminated by agricultural waste, household waste, mining waste, all sorts of waste. And there's been a lot of problems. So, for example, in 2016, the river overflowed and contaminated the drinking water for millions of people. She's also alluding to, obviously, the problem of disposable diapers here, much like Moo is taking up the problem of methane emissions. Just in case you haven't been thinking about disposable diapers lately, just to give you some background here, they are mostly made of plastic, and also their packaging contains plastic, and all that ends up in landfills as opposed to cloth diapers, which you just wash in your washing machine, which sounds kind of gross, but it's not dissimilar from flushing a toilet, right? So the waste gets treated in a wastewater treatment plant, the same way that adult waste gets treated when you flush a toilet. Reusable diapers do require energy to wash in a washing machine, but in theory, you could just skip the drying and or wash them by hand, so save some energy and water there. So, but it seems that Zuniga is taking the idea of the disposable diaper as just a microcosm of these larger environmental problems. Okay, so that's all I have for you. So make sure to take the quiz, assuming you have also already read both plays. And let's see, I think that's it. And I will see you this coming Tuesday. Bye.